Welcome to Soul, Light, and Body. How are you guys doing today? How are you showing up in the world today? What are some of the things that you're telling yourself when you stand in front of that mirror in the bathroom? What are you telling yourself? Are you feeling confident about yourself? Are you happy with the job that you're in? Are you setting those intentions? What is your morning routine? Because many times we don't have a morning routine. Is it meditation, prayers, yoga, or whatever form of spirituality you believe in? Are you doing it? Are you finding the time to check in with yourself? It's time that we all start to have a morning routine, that we could kickstart our day, that we could refuel ourselves to go. So whatever comes up in front of us, whatever challenges, we are able to stand strong and deal with the challenges very confidently. Many times we are going to work and we're telling ourselves, I want to start my own business. And we really not finding the time to set up a structure so we could go ahead and do that for ourselves. So this morning, we have such a beautiful guest, Tyshon, and she's going to help us to understand how we can really do it. How we can really, whatever we're telling ourselves, that if you want to leave that 9 to 5 and step right in to working with ourselves, she will tell us how we can make that transition so we can live the holistic systems. So if you're looking to do something like that on your path, Tyshon is going to help you. She's going to give you the tools, and she's going to give you some beautiful gems that you could put into your toolbox, and you can start to take action with your life. I'm Karen Pascal, holistic health and wellness coach, and a co-author of 2 ebooks with my sister. And we have 2 magazines, two magazines actually. It's a digital and a hard copy. And if you have not subscribed as yet, please go to the comments below and you can subscribe and receive these beautiful magazines. And today, don't give up on yourself. Don't give up on yourself. Find a modality that can help you to navigate the challenges that you're going through. The challenges is going to help you to grow and to evolve. Look for the gems in the challenges. Look for those gems in the challenges because there are gems there. Peel back those layers and get to the core, to whatever is the challenges that you're going through. Go to the core. Don't sit on the surface. Go to the core and start to take action. Because within darkness, there is light. There is light within darkness. You got to find your light. And we are here this morning to help you to ignite that light within yourself. I'll now hand the mic over to Miss Joan. Joan, take the mic.
Hi, thank you. Great to always. What a special day today, guys. Because we got a special woman in the house.
Mm-hmm.
And are you able to love yourself? Show yourself love and always remind yourself who you are. You're special. You're one of a kind. You're worthy. And celebrate your wins, whether they're big or small. Celebrate those wins because you work hard to achieve that. Stop, pause, soak in that moment. Feels what it feels like a win. And then you move forward because we always rush to the next. Let's stop, pause for a minute, soak that up, feel what it's feeling like. And that would give us the fuel to propel us to move forward. Talking about setting your intentions. Setting your intentions is very key. You got to be firm about it. It must be definitive. Then you have to move with a level of confidence, be self assured. And then you got to reposition yourself, incorporating with your spirituality and all that good stuff, whatever your spiritual practices be. So call it that in. And not forgetting, nourish yourself. Because this is one body we have, this vehicle to travel us through life. So we got to take good care of it. And not only nourishing ourselves, what's on the plate. Yes, that is very important. But what about the other aspect which we coach out of, which is the 12 components, your relationship, your finances, your relationship with yourself and those around you, your environment, your clutter in and out. You're able to navigate clearly in your environment at home. And what are you still holding on within and not forgiving and not letting it go? Because when we don't let things go, it hinders us because it stops good from coming in because there is a block. So today, love on yourself, remind yourself who you are, and show yourself gratitude to yourself and to others. My name is Joan Williams, Holistic Health and Wellness Coach. And thank you all for all the great reviews about the magazine. And share the recipes when you make those beautiful things with us. And let's have fun with it. Life is about fun. Yes, we got to be serious with what we're doing and every single thing and working our goals. But let's stop, have a little bit of fun, indulge in our creativity, bring that fun side in us so we can enjoy this journey called life. Today we have an amazing guest. I know you always might say, oh, your guests are always, yes, they are amazing. Because when they step into the space of soul, light, and body, what they do, they bring a great level of value. And you can soak up what you can, you leave the rest behind. So our guest today is going to teach us or guide us or pour into all about systems. And she's going to share her story. There's a particular story we're going to dive into and ask her to share and her journey in life and what got her to this point. So, Tyshon, it's just a great honor for us to have you here with us. Thank you for saying yes.
Thank you so much for the invite. Like I'm already hyped. Like, it was amazing speaking to you, and I'm so happy to be here with you both. I feel like it's so in alignment. But I'll go ahead and introduce myself. I am Tyshon Phillips. I am a systems empowerment coach, and I work with mompreneurs to empower them to innovate systems in their business that's in alignment with the life they desire to live. So when I work with my clients, it's always a holistic and systematic approach combined together, just so they can like regain control of everything. I work with too many people who are just letting their business take over because they think that's the normal way, right? So now it's all about like us reframing that. Like, what's normal for you, that's what you get to put out in the world, and that's what you get to receive back. So I help them create a system to do just that.
Wow. Isn't that that's so amazing? Because coming in and helping and guiding women, just how they can, you provide them with a roadmap, how
Hmm.
they can navigate life. Because sometimes we just can't find our way out. But when we have someone as Tyshon in our lives, as system empowerment coach, who can give us, who can hold our hands, who can guide us through the process so that we can able to feel self-assured, we can have that level of confidence that we can move forward, knowing there is someone who's there guiding us and got our back so that we can propel forward. So thank you for doing that. Thank you for choosing out that niche to help women and all of us.
Thank
Talk.
you. Thank you. Thank you so much for that.
Yeah, oh my goodness. We can't wait to jump in to talk to you about, okay, you have such an amazing story, but I want to talk about a story I shared a couple days ago in a room with Najid. And I hope I'm pronouncing her name right. And you spoke about the moon, the full moon that happened recently, and you talk about walking through the darkness and taking that step and reaching to the light. I'm not going to say it's your story to share. Talk to us about that moment, that day that you chose to take that step to look at the phone. It was a beautiful
Yes,
story.
thank you. I was going to see the blue moon that just happened a few days ago, like a week ago, I think. And this park that I usually go to, it's a very small park. They don't have any lights there because it's only open in the daytime. So I usually don't go at night. But this time I went, and it was more cars out there because of course other people wanted to see the moon as well. So I felt a little bit safe there. But when I walked up, it was just pitch black. So dark, but I said, you know what? I'm still going to go because every step I took, I was able to see in front of me, so I can obviously see where I'm walking. But just when I look a little bit further, I couldn't see anything, but I knew my way, right? So I went and I got all the way up to the top where I wanted to settle down to watch the moon. And I noticed that I was able to see everything that I couldn't see before, right? And as I was having that moment, and I was just like sitting with everything that was going on through my head, the message to me that I got was, sometimes you have to walk through the darkness to see the lights, right? And I'm very big on like attracting, like I'm very intentional on who I attract. So I always say that, there are people who looking for that guidance, because as I was walking closer, that's how I was able to see how many people were out there, right? So I was like, okay, like someone else is going through the same thing that I just went through. And me up here knowing that it's bright up here, I feel like that's my duty to guide them through that way. So if I'm standing in the light, that's me guiding them, saying, come up here, you'll be able to see better. But it's all about just continuing going through the darkness, trusting that it's light on the other side.
Wow. It's amazing. And think about if you did not take the level of the initiative or the chance and have the level of confidence that I'm going to do this, right? There is
Yes.
because there were other people as well there because everybody was thinking about, okay, I want to see the blue moon, whatever. And so you come into the light. There were other people there. It's just the same basically with life. Everybody goes going through something. Everybody's trying to get to that light, whatever that light might be in your life today. Just keep moving with a level of confidence and be self-assured, and just know that there will be light. Just keep doing, keep pursuing. I'm going to toss the mic to Karen.
Yes, the whole, sharing that story, the word that really comes to mind is faith and
Mm,
believe.
Mm-hmm.
Those two words came to mind, faith and believe. Because many times we're going through different challenges in life and we want to give up because we are in this very dark place and we want to give up. And we are not seeing a way out from this dark,
right.
not knowing that the light is within us. We are the light. But
Mm-hmm.
many times we gotta peel back those layers. And once we start to peel back those layers and have faith in ourselves, we will find that light that we are looking for. And once you find that light, that's the true essence of you. That's the core of you. That's who you are when you find that light. And when you find that light, you can able to ignite other lights and help them to
Mm-hmm.
find their light within themselves, that we all could shine as a collective and to help this humanity. The
Exactly.
story that you share, Tyson, it also leads us for trusting the path that we walk on,
Mm.
because you decided, I want to see the moon. Where I'm living, I cannot see the moon from there. So you trust the path and you start to walk. You had to implement the action phase. Because if you sat there and you said to yourself, I want to see the moon, I want to see the moon, but then you said, how can I see the moon? Where can I see the moon? And then you start to put the action into it. And the action is you getting up and start walking. And
Yeah.
through the darkness, you're walking through that darkness. And walking through the darkness, many of us is peeling back the layers. As you go through the darkness, you're peeling back those layers. And as you're peeling back those layers, you're getting closer to the light.
Yep.
So that is what we need to do with our lives. If we want to see the light, we got to take action. We got to start moving, and we got to start be willing enough to peel back those layers, be authentic with yourself, be honest with yourself, and start to peel back those layers. And once you start to peel back those layers, you'll start to see the light. You are a bright light wherever you are this morning. We are telling you, you are a bright light. Start to peel those layers away and trust the darkness. That the darkness is a process to help us in so many ways. Trust the darkness, get up and start to take the action, and you will find the light.
There's always light. There is
I
always light.
love
And I
that.
see in the comments there that Najit said courage. Of course, that's
Yes.
Mhm.
courage and determination and to move forward. And just like it, like anyone may going through adversity or whatever you may be going through at the moment or situation, or let's look at adversity. Then you gotta have that courage, and you gotta able to have that level of determination and that faith to know that okay, yes, I might be going through something, but if I've been through it and accept it, I acknowledge it, then there's a moment for me to move forward, to share that light, repurpose myself to the situation, whatever darkness you want to. When you find that light, oh my God, it's so beauty. And
Yes.
the joy that you feel within, right?
Yes. I love that you're saying that. Because as you're talking, I'm remembering that for me, I was just like one of you mentioned decluttering, right? And that's the space I'm in right now. I'm decluttering everything, emotionally inside and out, right? So through this process, I'm like seeing things clearer now. Right. I always talk about securing your vision. That's the first step in my framework when it comes down to implementing systems um, in your life and in your business. You have to secure that vision. Sometimes it does get blurry. Sometimes you find yourself in that darkness again. Sometimes it happens, but it's that piece of faith, right? Knowing that it will get better and knowing that whatever you're going through is a part of your testimony. So it's bigger than us, especially those of us who like as coaches, leaders, it's bigger than us because your testimony is what's going to tell someone else that, oh, I can do this. Like I quit my job with no backup plan, right? Nothing but faith, right? And to see that I'm still standing here, I'm still running my business. Other people, the people who told me, "Oh, you're crazy. Don't do that. Stay there. Go ahead. Continue sacrificing your sanity." Like those the things that I was hearing, right? Your mental health is not important. The money is more important. But it's the faith that told me, "No." I knew not to listen to them, but to have that faith to go through it and it wasn't easy. I don't want to I don't want anyone to think that it wasn't easy and I'm still going through challenges, but it's the faith that's keeping me going and it's someone else who's struggling to make that decision to even leave their job. It's someone else like who's struggling, who's sitting there crying every day at work on their job, regardless of how much money they're making. They're still struggling inside because oh, they just think the paycheck is more important. because that's what's normalized to us. Oh, you just need the money. And I'm not saying money is not important, but because, it pays the bills. But what about you?
Sure.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
what about you? Right? So if you are nothing is worth you sacrificing your sanity, and that's not how life is supposed to be. So if you are not happy and you are not living in peace, like you wake up every day and you complain the first thing in the morning, you have to do something differently. Something has to change, and that's your sign. You don't need a sign saying, okay, I need to find another job first. No, your sign is waking up crying every morning before you even walk through the door. Right? So yeah, sometimes it does take you telling your story. So if you have overcome something, and we all have, don't be afraid to share that. Share that you was in a dark space before, because someone is using that and looking for that as guidance, right? Someone light attracts more light. So someone's light right now is dimmed. Use your light to make it brighter for them, and show them that it's cool over here on the other side. You got this. You can do this. Just follow your heart, right? And I'll help you until you're able to have your own faith that it's going to work out.
Wow, thank you so much for saying that. And I like how you just to jump back a little bit. I like how you spoke about you at this moment in this junction in your space in your life, you are decluttering, you're clearing your environment inside and out. And that is one of the things that the 12 among the 12 components that we coach on is that piece, which is very essential, because making that clearance within ourselves as an individual, as a human being, it helped us to evolve. It help us to make that next step. Because as we keep things within and not letting go, and even our environment around us, not making that room that we can navigate easily, is the same thing with life. If it's there was a clutter there and there was a hindrance there, we can't move forward. So we are so happy that you express that, and you're finding a joy in making that clearance in your life in every space, inside and out.
Yeah,
Mm.
when something came to mind when you shared that story, right? I'm going to share a story about myself a little bit. There was a dark period of time in my life, and I remember getting off my bed one morning so frustrated, and it was like about 3 o'clock in the morning. That was in my country, Guyana, and the road is pitch black, pretty dark, and I just start walking. I just start walking. I didn't know where I was going. I wasn't even thinking what is gonna happen. I just start walking because that was a dark period of my life. And I remember a car pulled up with a whole lot of guys in this car. They pulled up alongside of me. And when they pulled up, they said, "Lady, where are you going?" I did not answer. I just continued walking. And then one of them said, "That's a ghost. Let's keep it moving." That is what they said. "That's a ghost. Let's keep it moving." And when they said that, I turned around and I started to walk right back home. And as I was walking back home, I went into the yard and I fell to my knees. And I raised my hands up to the universe and I said, "I surrender." I said, "I surrender." I said, "This cup that I'm drinking from, I really don't want this cup anymore. I want a new cup." And I went into my home. And as I looked looked to the side, I saw my Bible and I picked up my Bible, and it led me to, I don't know if you guys know that story with Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego when it was in that fire. And when I read that story, I realized that many times we're going to go through the fire, but we're not going to get burned. That
Mm.
fire is to mold us. That fire is to shape us. So whatever challenges you're going through this morning, it's to mold you, it's to shape you, it's to help you to grow, it's to help you to evolve. Because look at me today, sitting here telling you that story, what I went through. It was a challenge, it was a dark period of my life. But I really look at that challenge and again the strength that I need and faith help me to walk that through. So whatever you're going through this morning, trust the challenge,
Mm-hmm.
Walk by faith, not by sight. Walk by faith. Trust your steps. Your steps are ordained. Trust your steps.
Yes, that is so true. Thank you for sharing that.
Yeah.
And that is the thing, and that is so beautiful when we all share stories, because it's so powerful, because we are helping someone else who might be going through whatever they might be going through, and they say, "Oh my God, I can't do this." Yes, you can, but you gotta pause. You gotta go within. You gotta go into that inner space where nobody else sometimes can reach you and whatever spirituality that you're believing in, whether it's God or whatever it is, and stay quiet and go inwards and draw all that in, because that power, that when you pull that towards yourself, just sit with yourself and go inside of yourself. You do your meditation, do your level of grounding, whatever you do, that you can, because sometimes you got to go there to get that level of, I mean, we all been through different challenges. I went through my challenges on myself, which I choose to share that another day. But I had to find the level of strength. I had to find a level of resiliency, because
Mhm.
when I was going through that moment, I had to decide, what do I do in that moment? Do I stay there? Do I stay stuck? Or I'm going to pull from my faith, my courage, my determination, all the things that we spoke about, to able to propel and move forward, because I continue to live in my purpose. I want to continue to help others. I want to continue to share that light. I want to continue to give that love. So I had to harness everything that I have inside of me, everything,
Mhm.
and pull myself up. And with the kind of people that you surround yourself with is so
True.
important, because that can support you, that can pull you up and help you forward, because you can't balance in no negativity in those moments.
Mm-hmm.
Those moments, your positivity, your faith, your courage, your strength is really pull you and lift you and trust you forward, so you can be that light and live in that level of excellence. That's why we all here today.
Yes, I loved it. You both spoke so much on of things that came up for me in my decluttering process. And just yesterday I decided to drop everything and take the whole day off to just go deeper into
Yeah.
decluttering. And I came across this video is Transformation Church with Pastor Mike Todd, and this particular video, he was preaching about transferring your faith,
Mm,
right? Transferring your faith, and he was saying that some of us are where we are by the grace of God. Like, we are making decisions that he didn't tell us to do, but he still has grace for us, like saying, okay, like trusting that we're going to figure it out, we're going to get there. But now it's about getting to, you have to change that faith, like change the faith that got you here to the faith that will get you there. And that's what's going to get you there is the faith of God. Right? So that's why I say it is important for us to shine through our darkness and even revisit to help others, to tell them
True.
that yes,
True.
I'm here now, but it's okay. And that was a hard part for me. It wasn't until I started going through holistic self-care coaching where I was able to revisit the darkness and prove that I turned that into light. Now, so that's that part where, and he talked about this in his video, you have to get up and grab your testimony and go back home, right? Go back home to show people this is what I used to be, and
mhm.
look at me now. You can do it too. Right? Because if you don't do it before, you think it's impossible until you see someone else who did it.
True.
Until you see someone else who did it. It's just like when kids are learning something and they are afraid, and you're trying to teach them and you say, look, it's okay, touch it, and you touch it to show them that it's okay, and now they're okay with it. They're tapping a little. It's the same thing when you're got it. It gets harder as adults because you experience more life. Right? But it's okay to go back and tap into that inner child who was just so brave and wanted to do everything. And sometimes that's what it takes. Like, it might be hard to revisit your dark times, But just like one of my sisters in my holistic self-care community recently told me, sometimes you have to be the sacrifice. And then you will realize that that's all a part of your purpose, right? The why you went through that, and now you're using that as your testimony to help others across that other side. You was just a sacrifice, and that's okay. That's okay because it's bigger than you. It's always bigger than you. It's never just about like nothing is happening to you. Everything is happening for you. And once you realize that, that is so beautiful. You'll be like, oh, that's why I went through that. Okay, I get it now. And the more I get it, the easier the next, because it's not going to stop. You're gonna have a challenge after challenge after challenge, but I call my community the gold mine, because what we do is take those roadblocks and turn it into a gold mine, right? Every challenge is an opportunity for growth, and you're going to continue to grow and reach your hand out to help people get up each step, right? So it's okay. Like, don't be afraid to go back to that dark space. And that was one of the things where during my decluttering, I found myself saying, "Okay, I surrender." I'm always able to figure it out, but this time I don't have to. I'm okay with sit in silence and trusting the process. Like, I don't need another YouTube video to tell me what to do next, because I'm just gonna follow your steps. Like, just guide me. I surrender to you. Just guide me and tell me what to do. I'm gonna float into it. I'm not stepping or anything. I'm just floating into it right now.
Yeah, wow. That is so beautiful. Thank you for sharing that. We're gonna jump and just let you share your relationship with your beautiful daughter and how beautiful that is that you both have evolved together in a space of beautiful greatness.
Yes, that's actually what started this whole journey. Like, when during the pandemic, when I really had the opportunity to pay attention to how school was for her. Like, because I set it up, we both had new workstations at home. Everyone was working from home, trying to adapt to a new normal. And I was just watching her, paying attention to how she learned it, and I saw that it looked horrible, like, to me. And it has nothing to do with like the public school system. It's just like, look, it like torture for her. Like, it didn't look in alignment to how I know how she usually is. So I got to saw, because a lot of kids are different at school. So I got to saw that, oh, she's different when she's in school mode, but I didn't like it. Right. So I made that decision to say, okay, the school will understand. I decided to just start homeschooling before I even made it official that she was going to homeschool. So within that time frame, I sat down and I said, okay, let's create a schedule that works for us. Let's create. If you don't want to get up early in the morning, you don't have to. So we created a schedule, and I was still working a full-time job and leading the team. So I said, I have to work these hours, and but this time I'm committing to taking a break this time to give you breakfast, taking a break this time to give you lunch, and I'll be off by this time, and we can do that. So that was my agreement. I said, this is breakfast time, but you don't have to be up. Just understand that you won't get any breakfast if you're not up at this time, but you can grab a snack. And I had snacks prepared just in case, right? So that was me, like, saying, wake up when you want, and putting the responsibility on her. Like, if you want to eat, make sure you're up at this time. She had her own alarm and everything. So it was like us creating a system that works for us, but it's not also like too much pressure. And that was the beginning of us like creating that relationship of creating a system that works for us. It never stopped. It only got better, and now we keep that same thing in mind. Like, we know that if it's something that needs to get done, make sure it's on our calendar. And both, like, because she's back in school now, but it's more of a micro school. She goes 3 days a week because that's what works for us. And then on days like Fridays and Mondays, we know that we get to do things outdoors, do things like create a schedule for us in the house of what we want to do. We do activities together, like puzzles, or even cooking activities. But it's all about what we want, and setting those guidelines to, like, stay on track, right? And when I say on track, as far as what we want to accomplish, one thing we're big on is like creating vegan meals, that we both enjoy, because she's taking more control with with the food, right? But I also want to make sure that she stays on the healthier track, especially knowing that most of the examples in our family are not healthy. Why? So it's very important for me to like give her control, but show her that okay, keep it within this parameter, and still she still feel like she's being free. So she wake up and understand that okay, if I want waffles here and I just have a fruit, and just make sure she's still checking off all those boxes to keep it within a healthy plate. But the reason I do this, and going right back to don't be afraid to share when you was in a dark space, because another thing that Pastor Mike Todd mentioned in there, when you are keeping it a secret, when you are not expressing as far as the challenges that you had, you are risking your kids repeating those same mistakes, and it doesn't have to be that way. If you went through it, why make them go through it again? Just because you don't want to talk about it. So I'm very open with her. If she asks me a question, I'm going to give her an answer. And everyone is different, but I don't think that, oh, you're too young to understand. If you're too young to understand, then she'll say, I don't understand. And I will say, okay, let's wait until we get a little bit older. But I always explain things to her. If she asks it, I don't care if it's about sex or anything. She don't ask a lot of questions about sex because she understands what it is, but she don't understand like everything about it, which she don't have those questions yet. But when she do, I'm going to tell her, right? I didn't grow up that way. I grew up like with the response to stay in the child's place. I was always told to be quiet. That's why I talk so much now. But those are things where I grew up with. So I refuse to teach her that way. I believe she's going to learn on her own regardless. But if she comes to me, I'd rather her hear it from me, especially based on my experience, to go to Google or in YouTube, and they're gonna like blow it up anyways. And sometimes she come across stuff by mistake, and she was like, "Mommy, what's that about?" And then I have to tell her, and then now she understands that, oh, that's one of those adult things that I'll ask about later, right? She don't have to go too deep into it, but creating that safe space is very important, and it's something that we all need, whether it's with our kids or anything. Everyone needs a safe space to like an output, right? Especially if you're constantly pouring into others, you need someone who's going to help you refill your cup. No one. And I was this person when I was at my last job. I was just like, oh, I don't like people. I'm just going to come here for a little bit, and I'm going home, and I was happy to go home, right? So no, you need a better output where you can pour into others. And with our kids, it's very important to create that safe space where they can go to you and understand that, oh, she's not just going to be mad, but she's going to let me know, be upfront with me, be real with me, and tell me what I want to hear. Give me the answers that I need, and they can trust that, right? Because a lot of kids make decisions out of fear of what their parents might say, and now they're making it worse because they're trying to cover it up and digging a hole deeper and deeper and deeper for themselves. But no, create that sense of community for your kids. That's very important to me.
Wow, wow, wow. Applaud you. We give you your flowers because how you express every single thing and explain everything so beautiful. The relationship with your daughter, and you're facilitating a space for her that she can
Hmm.
come have a free level of communication that nothing with you can talk about. You know, when
Right.
she understand a little further, then you will pour into her in that level. But you constantly keep pouring in her, you constantly supporting her, because sometimes in childhood, as you earlier mentioned, we didn't have that. We always told to be quiet. We always told children
Hmm.
are seen and be heard and all these things. And now you're breaking that cycle for your daughter, and now you're empowering her as you are an empowering
Yes.
empowerment coach. You are empowering her and you helping her to speak her own, have her own voice and stand in her truth and walk in her level of her greatness. So we just thank you for that, for sharing that with those who are watching live and who's going to catch us on the replay. That's beautiful. It's wonderful. Thank you. Karen,
Thank you.
Yeah,
how are you? How are
listen,
you? Something?
Pardon me?
No, I thought Taisha was going to say something.
Oh no, I was just saying thank you.
Okay. Welcome.
Yeah, listening to you, Tyshon, it leads me back to the relationship with myself and my daughter. We had such a great relationship, and it all starts with us as parents.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
It all starts with us as parents. We are their role model. We have to give them a safe space where they can come to us and to feel free to discuss anything with us. We have to give them that space. And once we could give them that space, that's a golden space that will take them through life.
Mm-hmm.
Let us be the first. Let us be the first that they can come to and
Mm-hmm.
have a discussion with us. We have to hold that
Mm-hmm.
space for them. Because many times we grew up and we never had that space with our parents. We
Right.
never felt free that we could go and have discussions with our parents.
Hmm.
But now we have to change that.
Mm-hmm.
We have to change that to give our kids the voice that they can come, they can sit, and they could be open and honest with us and
Yeah.
talk to us. And we also need to be honest with them.
Mm-hmm.
We need to be honest with our children. And that is how you could develop such a beautiful relationship. Tyson,
Absolutely.
thank you so much for being the mother that you are to your daughter.
Beautiful.
It's truly amazing. It is truly amazing. I am so proud of you.
We are proud of you. Yes, we are proud of you.
So
Thank
proud of
you
you.
so much. That means a lot. Thank you so
So
much.
proud of you. So proud of you.
Talk a little bit about confidence that you spoke about a couple of days
Mhm.
ago.
That had a lot to do with that was right before, and it's funny that we're having this conversation. So that was right before that day where I said I went deeper into my decluttering, and when I thought about it, like I the topic was confidence that we're speaking on, and I thought about it. I was like, I never really had a problem with confidence, right? I always was able to just show up, and then that made me question. Anytime I feel like I don't have a problem with something, I like to dig deeper because before I started my holistic self-care community, I didn't think I needed a coach, right? So I like to dig deeper. I'm like, if everything is perfect, then something is wrong. That means I'm not aware of it, right? Because everything is a work in progress. So that made me think I was always confident in what I did or being able to figure out how to do something. But what right now I learned that just realized that I'm still learning how to be confident in who I am and who I'm becoming, which ties into the conversation when it comes down to being honest with our kids. You have to
Yeah,
be honest with yourself first. You
true.
have to be honest and confident with like everything, understanding that who you are is divine. Like everything is intentionally put together. You went through those paths for a reason, but being confident in that and saying that, oh, I used to do this and that, and now I'm doing this and this, and this is where I'm heading. You have to that's confidence that you have to
Mhm.
work up to and be okay with going back and taking everything that you dug deep up under those rugs, just swept up under the rugs, taking it back out, peeling back those later layers as we're talking. That's the true confidence, like being confident from within. Right. It's not about like going to school and getting good grades and the boss saying, oh, good job, and all of that is external. Like be confident within yourself and walk into any room understanding that you're supposed to be there, because a lot of times when we do things and we go through things, we that makes us question as far as where we're supposed to be. That's stuff that holds us back and say, oh, I want to do this, but I don't know because I used to do this. No, it's not. It's not about that. Take that and use that, right? Take that and use that, because you never know what that person is looking for, like whatever job you're trying to get or client you're trying to work with. Be honest with all of that, especially when it comes to working as a coach. That again, that's the thing that they're looking for. So they have to understand, they're having those thoughts, the things that you're thinking, someone else was thinking that before. right? So if you are hesitant at saying your past is something that can't get you to your future, you have to have a talk with yourself, sit down, write it out. I talk to myself through the journal mostly. I'm like, okay, girl, what's going on right now? Like what's happening? Tell me what it is, and create a relationship with whatever that feeling is that you're having. Whatever reason that you are holding back, if it's fear of this, but like, okay, fear, I met you before, but right now you seem afraid to speak up. Why? Ask that why, you're going to find an answer, right? So being confident with who you are and who you're becoming is on a whole nother level, and it will take you so far. And guess what? You'll be able to take others with you. And that's really living life on purpose.
Absolutely. Ronnie is asking a question. Is confidence a skill or a characteristic?
Wow, that's a good question, Ronnie.
For me, it was both. And just like I said, it's a skill that right now, when I say I'm learning to be confident with who I am and who I'm becoming, that's a skill that I'm working every day to get better at. But like a characteristic, I was that kid that just always got up and tried anything. Like I tried anything, and once I learned how to learn, like how to teach myself, oh, I was unstoppable then. So I received promotion after promotion. I was always a leader. Like I was always nominated for certain things in school, like the leadership program. I was always the president. I probably did every rank in JROTC up until my senior year. I was lieutenant colonel and a sergeant, all of that. When I became a leader in the working force, I again, anytime it was like an opportunity for a promotion, no one ever overlooked me because they knew that she can do it and she can figure it out. So that part came natural to me, which is why it was such a surprise when I realized that I was still holding back on certain things and I wasn't as confident as speaking up on certain stuff. So that part required skill and guidance from my coach, right? From my coach until now, I'm getting more comfortable with it, which was part of that decluttering part, because he was saying that um, you are here by sometimes you might be where you are by the faith of someone else. Like someone else believed in you so much that they helped get you to this place. Now transfer your faith and give it all to God. Right? You can't go to that person for every single thing. That person only will get you to a certain point to show you that it's possible. But where you are going now, transfer it and give it to God and trust that, okay, I'm putting all of my trust in you. And that part, it's a skill. It's a
Wow.
muscle that you have to constantly strengthen.
Wow, that's absolutely amazing. My next question to you. What daily practice an individual can perform to boost their self-confidence?
I always start with myself in the morning. As you opened up and you was like, what did you say to yourself in the morning? The first thing I say to myself in the morning, be like, girl, what was that dream about? Like I that's my first question. Like, what did we dream about? Because I want to know what my body is trying to tell me. Like, what message are you trying to send me today? So I always, and I love doing that, like decoding my dreams, right? So I love doing that. But I always open up with whatever. It's always some sort of meditation, even if it's just like intentional breathing for 5 minutes. I always open up with that. Like, be still for a little bit. Don't one thing I don't do, I don't wake up with an alarm, and I don't wake up rushing out the bed, right? Because I want to start off like that. If I don't wake up super early because my body don't tell me to wake up super early, right? So I definitely do that, and most likely it's like some music or something once I actually start getting dressed and moving around and creating a space of calm. I like to listen to music, like some like motivational type music to get me going. And lately me and my daughter started over the summer. We started off with our walks. Like, just go out, spend time with nature first before I get my day started, and it makes such a big difference. One thing I like to tell my clients is, as you are doing your calendar, go back and pay attention to what you did and add your feelings to that. How do you feel at the end of the day, and pay attention to what contributed to that, because it matters,
Yeah.
right? Me doing all of that in the morning makes me have a better day. That process actually started because I was going to a job that I wasn't so happy about going. Like the work was good, it was easy, the pay was good, but it was something about the energy in the room that I just was like, huh. But I used to I had a process that I did before I went. Like I did all of that in the morning. I used to work out, go do a 45-minute intense workout before I went to work, and then get there, pull up in the parking lot, sit in the car for like 5 minutes with my music blasting, just it can be, and it can be anything. It can be Tupac, something that's just going to put my mind in a different space. And when I go in, I'm walking in there, and now I'm floating, right? One of the reasons why I quit was like, it's like it takes too much for me to do all of this and then to go into a place where it's about to be just shattered. Like I'm fighting too hard to
Yeah.
intentionally put myself in a space that I have to always detox from, right? So that I'm like, okay, now I'm very protective of budgeting my energy. So I'm very, very protective of that right now. And that part is hard because sometimes the people you have to detox from, it's not necessarily mean that they're bad people.
Sure.
It's about like the space that they're in,
Sure.
especially if you are working on your self-care. You're going to start being aware of certain things that people do that you don't necessarily agree with, and you're going to be like, dang, but it was so okay like 3 months ago. But it's okay, you're a brand new person, it's okay. It's don't be afraid to act brand new, that is fine. So that part for me, like I some people who I used to talk to every day, I might only talk to once a week now, because I'm like, okay, I only have enough energy for you on this day, right? Some people you have to cut out all together because you always felt some type of way anyways, and now you are very protective of your energy. So that's okay. And that I want to that's called setting boundaries and putting yourself first, and all of that is okay.
Wow. I mean, you're speaking our language right there, right there, right there. Talking about people, talking about energy, setting your boundary. Because the thing about life is, and as we all know, that when what we do when is, and we were tolerable with and contained with that, as we move into our 30s and our 40s, and because there is growth, there is evolvement, expansion, we no longer sit with that anymore. We say, no, it's not okay. And so we're more protective of our energy, how we spend our energy, how we spend our time, because we constantly grow in the process, we constantly evolving. So we got to watch, we got to be more mindful of what we do, the kind of people that we're sharing our energy with, because then it
Mhm.
affects.
Yes,
I'm strong in those spaces. Thank you for sharing that.
Yeah.
you're
Thank you so
welcome.
much for sharing that, because it is super important for us to really understand ourselves and understand someone else,
Mm-hmm.
because many times someone may show up in our space and you're seeing they're behaving in a certain way that you may not like how they're behaving, but you always got to pedal back and ask yourself, I wonder what this person is going through at this point in time. Because remember, we all go through things at different times in our lives. And
Yes.
that individual may be going through something. But we have the authority to remove ourselves
Mhm.
from that situation. That's the
Yes.
beauty. We have that authority to remove ourselves from that situation. So, whatever it is, you could protect your energy by removing yourself from a certain situation. You have the choice, you have the authority. If you don't like what is going on, you can make the change. You
And
be
it's
the
good.
change.
It's quite
Yeah,
okay.
it's quite okay.
And it's
But
not mean that the person's a bad person either. But
exactly.
that our timing and our situation differs. And it's okay.
Yes.
Absolutely. Mhm.
And also, it's not always about the person. Sometimes it can be the behavior. So the person, because I'm going to use my daughter as an example. Like in my eyes, like nothing. She's can't do anything wrong, right? But sometimes she would does something that aggravates me. It has nothing to do with her. But the question I ask is, what about this is resonating with me, and it's something that you have to figure out within yourself.
Right.
So that's important too, to like not always like look at it as, oh, this person gets on my nerves because they always do this and that. What about this and that is bothering you? And that's what you really need to check in. If you check in with yourself and realize, okay, this person is someone who I still need to like separate my stuff from. Okay, but sometimes it's just you figuring this part of you out, like, because that's just a message that the universe is trying to send you and
True.
say, hey girl, work on this, work on this, because it's holding you back. This is a chain that you need to break free from. And a lot of times pay attention to that within our kids too, because they are the main ones who those messages will come through, because you are looking at it differently. Just like I say, I already in my head, I already know that my daughter can do any wrong. So if she does something compared to an adult doing something, I might not have that much empathy or grace for them. Like, girl, you grown, you should know better. But it helps. Like, pay attention to what your kids are doing that's aggravating you, and don't just like yell at them and say, oh, you have to do this, and it's driving me crazy. Because if you are aggravated by it, that has nothing to do with your child. That's something you need to work on. Your child is not
Yeah.
responsible for your feelings, right?
Sure.
So
Sure.
that definitely helps. And it helps you become a better person and take care within, right? But so you can be able to at least guide the child through that and understand what's happening, so you can be a better example of how to heal through it.
Absolutely right. You,
All right.
you're touching a very, very good point there. That
Yeah.
many times, because remember, we are reflecting.
Mm-hmm.
So whatever you're seeing someone and you're getting, even if you're getting upset about too, right? It could be something you need to work on yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Yes,
Yeah.
something you need to work on yourself. What steps can someone take today to improve their tomorrow?
Be the person you want to be tomorrow. Like, what if you want to do something, you have to already start doing it now. Whatever you can do to get closer to that tomorrow person, do that today and attract it. Like, it's like, okay, whatever your higher power is, God, whoever you believe in, they're already doing the work, and you're trusting that they're doing the work. So they're putting things in place, right? But you have to position yourself and take that one step. So identify that one step, and do it. Identify that one step. What if you want to write a book, write the first page today, right, create your book cover today, create your book cover, do something that's going to get it, and it gets you in a mindset of saying, I'm an author, right? I'm an author. My thing was, I want to do more public speaking. I actually used to be shy about speaking, right? I just one day I said, okay, I'm going to do my first video. And with
Mhm.
that first video, I started doing it more, more and more and more and more and more. And now I can label myself as a motivational speaker, right? But before, it was something that, like, I just, it was just the thought of saying I want to do it. But just take that first step today. It's okay. It won't be perfect, but that's the beautiful part about it. Just imagine how beautiful it would be when you start something today, and then you look back and be like, oh my gosh, look at how I used to do this, and look at what I used to do, and look at, like, you're able to say, I used to be here, and watch that progress. Like, I'm a puzzle lover. I love putting together puzzles, because I love to like see how crazy that one piece looks. And then when you put it next to something, you can already start seeing the whole puzzle, right? As soon as you put that one piece next to the next to that, the piece that it goes to, you can be like, oh my gosh, the face is coming on. Like, it's
Yes.
so beautiful. So just understand that you just have to find that one piece of the puzzle and connect it, and the vision will start to become more clear as you put more pieces together.
Wow. Great. Tell us
Uh,
about your
oh,
business.
About my business.
Yes.
Yeah, so as a systems empowerment coach, I do more group coaching style. And that's what it's all about for me. I take things that you are struggling with, and we're going to streamline it and simplify it. So in business, I help you break those larger challenges down into smaller, more achievable pieces, just like we're talking about the puzzle. When you get the box of puzzles and dump all the pieces on, it looks crazy, right? So I kind of do that same framework of like flipping them all over so you can see the face, starting with the outline so you can understand what's where it's, because those parts are easier because it's usually a flat end. So start with the easy stuff first, and that's going to make each harder part easier as well. So yes, I work with the mompreneurs to help be able to um address anything with. I have a framework, it's called the system framework, where I say every system that you have to make sure that it's secured, it's intentional, it's streamlined, it's trackable, it's evaluable, and it's maintainable. So you can apply that to everything that you do, and you will have a system that works for you and not against you. Because remember, everyone is operating on a system. It's just a matter of you controlling it, right? So you're either creating a system or you're just a part of the system, but
Sure.
everything is operating on the system. And just like I do in business, where I can take your whole processes and create an SOP and do a roadmap of everything, we can do that same thing internally because you are your own operating system. So that's why it goes hand in hand, and it's not just about business. It's about regaining control over your life and letting your business fall in place and stop trying to achieve the work life balance that don't exist. Right? Just let your job fit in with your life wherever you want it to, whatever you want that to look like. If it's just this piece of a puzzle, this piece of the pie, that's okay, and everything else in your life is in alignment. So yeah, that's what my business is all about. Like I work with my clients to achieve that ultimate goal that they desire, the life they desire to live.
Wow. I like how you mentioned work-life balance. We're gonna have to have you as a returning guest and talk about that because a lot of us try to navigate that
Mm-hmm.
work-life. We're gonna talk more about that in part two. But everything you said is so amazing and giving us level of guidance how we can move forward. And mompreneurs, wow, congratulations. I'm
Thank
proud of
you so much.
you.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's a blessing when we can have these beautiful guests on and they can able to come and give such a great delivery.
Hi, Lydia.
And you inspire us this morning. You help us to know that we can do it. We have that faith within ourselves. We got to believe ourselves that we can do it. We can get up and we can start to take that action step. If you're not happy where you are, start to look within yourself and see how best you can find the answer to what you're going through because the answers are
Mm-hmm.
within us.
Mm-hmm.
But sometimes we're not looking hard enough. We got to dig deeper. It's there. Do your
Declutter.
journaling.
Mm-hmm.
Do your journaling. Get up in the morning. Do your journaling. Set the tone for your day. And as Tyshon said, go for a walk.
Mm-hmm.
Go for a walk because when you go for a walk into nature, you get so much of clarity about things in
Mm-hmm.
your life.
First,
So much of clarity. Sometimes you're asking yourself a question and you go into nature and then you suddenly see something and then you say, oh my goodness, I've been asking this question. Here is my clarity.
Mm-hmm.
Or you may see somebody on the road. They may say, give you a word to a question that you're probably asking yourself for weeks or for months. And that person give you a word. And as Tyshon said, that's the piece of the puzzle to fit in to what you've been asking for. So let's go within ourselves. Believe in yourself. Get up and start to make that action step because it's only you can do it. Only you can do it. Grab yourself a coach if you cannot do it. Reach out to Tyshon. Have a talk with her. Because many times we tell ourselves we can do it, but sometimes we need help. We need that support system. We need that support system to guide us along and to help us to really go deep within ourselves, peel back those layers, and find the light that we're looking for. It's within you. It is within you. Have a relationship with yourself. Have a relationship with yourself. Love yourself for who you are. Love yourself. Put in the work. Pay attention. Pay attention what you're listening to. Pay attention what you're feeding yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Pay attention, because if you're going to decide to surround yourself with a certain type of people, they're only going to feed those negative things to you. So watch your company, the people who you're gathering yourself around. Watch that. It is super, super important. The food that we eat is very important. So
Mm-hmm.
watch it.
Yes.
Any words before we leave, Tyshon?
Now I agree with everything. Like that's the main takeaway for me. Like as far as pay attention to your input, whether it's eating, hearing, everything. Like if you notice that the smells and everything impacts your mental health, and that impacts the output that you put out into the world. So understand that what you are putting out is going to come back, and what you are putting in is going to come out, right?
Okay.
So understanding that is very important.
So
Yes.
true.
John?
Wow, the time went by so quickly. You have to be our returning guest,
Hmm?
but the level of value you brought to the space this morning, wow, was so beautiful. Everything that was expressed and giving us a way and living life confidently, walking through darkness. That there is light at the end of the tunnel.
Yes.
It's a true testament of that. You demonstrated that relationship with our kids is so important, and the openness with our kids, it's super, super important because they're the next generation of tomorrow. And so
Mm-hmm.
got to break that cycle, the old pattern, because old patterns are obsolete. They don't work anymore because as we move with life, with technology and science and everything, things are changing. So what fit then don't fit now.
True.
So we take that step, live the life of confidence, walk boldly, because we got to ask ourselves, how are we showing up in spaces? And what the level of value we bring to a space that when one leaves the room, one leaves the workshop, one leaves the masterclass, what are the takeaways? Did we share something in that space that they can have the pattern and involve something or incorporate something in their life that can make a difference in their lives starting from that moment, leaving that place? What are you sharing?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely
So
right.
that is key, 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 key.
Mhm.
Love all of you. Thank you for being here. Padre, Ronnie, and Legend. Everyone else, we love you. Thank you so much, Tyson. You did a beautiful job. You're truly amazing.
Thank
Thank you
you.
so much.
Thank you
Yeah.
so much.
Yeah, thanks to all the audience for taking the time, your beautiful comments, your questions. If any of you ask a question and you did not get a chance to answer it, please feel free to reach out to Tyshon. All our handles are in the comments below. Reach out and have a talk with her, because today could be the day that you're making that power choice to start the action step. We love you all and have a wonderful weekend. And always remember, you're good enough, you're special, you're one of a kind, and you are love and you are light. Find the light within you. Have a great day. Bye bye.
Bye.